Makes the stop in the secondary for Denver. 1st and 10. The fake. Good. Block in there, and down it goes. Caught at the 30.
Welcome to the Fins tailgate. It's where we elevate. Miami Dolphins talk, yeah, we never hesitate. Breaking news, hot takes, we keep it up to date. And when the fans speak up, the panel resonates. We live that aqua and orange from the field to the mic. Breaking down the plays, man, we talk it every night. From Tua to the defense, you know we keep it tight. NFL moves, you know we got the insight. We open up the floor, yeah, it's your time to shine. Fans drop the heat with opinions realigned. You got concerns, bring them, we're gonna chime. The Fins tailgate's where we keep it prime. Welcome to the Fins tailgate, it's where we elevate. Miami Dolphins talk, yeah, we never hesitate. Breaking news, hot takes, we keep it up to date. And when the fans speak up, the panel resonates. The NFL's changing, but we stay on the grind. Latest breaking stories, we don't waste no time. From the trades to the rumors, we make them all align. At the Fins tailgate, we always on the climb. We're repping the Dolphins, but it's NFL wide. From South Beach to the league, we keep it worldwide. Got the fans engaged with the energy supplied. Come kick it at the tailgate, we're riding high tide. Welcome to the Fins tailgate, it's where we elevate. Miami Dolphins talk, yeah, we never hesitate. Breaking news, hot takes, we keep it up to date. And when the fans speak up, the panel resonates. So if you love the game, you know we got the gate. Tune in, speak out, don't wait, it's your fate. This is the Fins tailgate, now watch us dominate. Miami Dolphins, NFL, yeah, we integrate.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to WCFL DolFans Talk. I'm Papa Paul, your host, along with my co-host, Mr. Johnny O. and Russell Hopman.
What's up, guys? How are you?
Good evening, gentlemen. How are you?
Good. How are you doing, Russell?
I'm good. A tropical and balmy 19 degrees here in Massachusetts.
That's about the same here in Jersey, brother.
Oh, I'm sure it's going to get ugly, too. I guess this weekend. It's supposed to get 8 to 10 inches, I guess, Sunday.
Yeah, I'm in the track for the 12 to 18.
Yeah, it's not going to be pretty.
Well, y'all can keep it.
It just gives me a few days off of work. If it snows that much, I can't go to work.
Mm-hmm. It's been cold in Florida, too, no?
Yeah, it's got down to 25.
Yeah, that's not cool for you guys.
No, it's cold.
And then you figure, like South Florida, those iguanas probably falling out of the trees like apples.
Probably. We were down in the 25 and then in the 30s a couple of days. Tomorrow is supposed to be like 50 in the morning and then 70 in the afternoon.
Oh, I'm sure people are jumping off bridges. 50 degrees in Florida.
Yeah.
So what's the consensus, fellas? What are we thinking?
I don't know enough about the coach to say good, bad, or indifferent. One thing I'd like to address is all these people on social media. Oh, the guy was at Boston College and he sucked, and he couldn't do this, and he made three bowl games in 4 years at Boston College, which is not a football school. Anybody who knows football knows Boston College is not a football school.
I'm gonna add a little something to that too, Johnny O, because I live here. Halfley obviously doesn't have the talent of a Clemson, a Florida State, a Miami, an NC State, all the premier ACC teams. He did take his team to 3 bowls. They did beat Miami while he was here. They did beat Florida State while he was here. So obviously Boston College Northeast is not a destination for kids wanting to play college football. He had Castellanos probably when he was getting ready to leave. But he's actually a really good coach. He's had in the NFL experience. And I came on the show last week and said that he was going to be the next head coach of the Miami Dolphins. One, not because I know everything, because I don't, but anybody, whether it's you, whether it's me, whether it's Papa Paul, whether you're in business, whether you're in friendships, people tend to address situations for comfort. The GM is from Green Bay. Halfley was from Green Bay. Of course, everybody wanted the shiny new toy, Harbaugh, Tomlin. Everybody with any eyes and sense knew we weren't getting either one of those guys. That's number one. Number two, we need a new direction. This guy's well respected. He's a defensive mind. They'll address, obviously, they're going to have to address their salary cap issues and what they're going to do at quarterback. But anybody should just give this guy a shot and stop being so delusional to everything. It's similar to what we had said in the draft, Johnny. All these draft nicks and everybody knows and everybody, it's a crapshoot. And people don't realize that, everybody looks good in T-shirts and shorts, like we said in April. And we haven't addressed certain things that we need addressed. One is our culture. Our culture is it's a Playboy resort. We can do what we want and no accountability. So maybe that will change with the new GM. I listened to what he had to say in his interview. Sounded good. I mean, talk is cheap, as we all know. But he seems like he's football oriented. He's looking to fix things that need to be fixed rather than just talk about it.
Right. I 100% agree with you. It's when you hire a GM from Green Bay, of course he wants to bring a guy in as a head coach who he's got a working relationship with. They can sit down and talk about things. Maybe their mindset is very similar, and that's why he wanted them. I want guys in the office that can sit down and talk and come to a consensus, not sit there and argue, and then we find out later, well, he didn't want this guy, he wanted this guy, and this guy wanted this guy, and they really pushed for this and that. I want them to come to a consensus. This is our guy. This is who we're picking. This is who we want. So that if it works out, great. If it doesn't, they're all responsible together. They're not pointing fingers saying, well, he wanted this one and he wanted that one. If you have like-minded people in there, you could sit down and discuss things without, all the other bullshit that goes with it. Great. That's what we need. I said it before the show started. Yes, they're both from Green Bay. They might bring in other coaches from Green Bay. But look at Green Bay's history. Over the last 30 years, they've had 3 quarterbacks, only a few coaches. They're not hiring and firing like crazy, and they've won 2 Super Bowls. If I said to any one of you guys or anybody else out there on this panel, we're only going to have 3 quarterbacks in the next 30 years, and we're going to win 2 Super Bowls, how many of you would say, oh, fuck that, I don't want it?
Everybody would sign up for that. And plus, the thing with Green Bay, they play a physical brand of football. That's what we need. I mean, you're going to waste away Achane. You're going to waste away the goodness in what we can accomplish with that. I mean, you can't beat on them, obviously. And we got 3 backs. And we are now in the position of resetting the calendar. We can't always think, well, we had Tyreek Hill. Well, that's over. You got to clear out that money. You got to rebuild through the draft. I like what the GM had said about, we're going to focus on keeping our homegrown talent, which is good. And, he mentioned certain players that are on the current roster that he wanted us to build around. He said Brooks, he said Paul, he said Achane, he said Waddle, he said Brewer. So, I mean, it's a new direction. People have to understand that. I mean, I'm not saying that we're going to win 11 games, but you need a reset.
Yeah.
Yeah, and at least this offseason, they can't bullshit us and saying we're doing a soft rebuild. There's no such thing as a soft rebuild. You're either rebuilding or you're not.
What's going on, Derek?
What's up, guys?
What's up, Eric? How are you, brother?
Oh, not too bad. Yeah, I was just coming, with this new coach. I was a little nervous. I mean, we all wanted, like Russell said, we all wanted, we wanted hardball, but with the dysfunction that our team has right now in our cap, it's totally understandable why he wouldn't want to come here.
Well, I didn't want Harbaugh only because Harbaugh is a great coach. He's a CEO. And if they were going to hire a general manager, it would have had to be someone that he was tied to. The one guy that they did interview who was with the Chargers, but he also was with the Ravens, that might have worked. But I don't know if they want to give anybody total control of the team. So,
Right. Yeah. And once we didn't hire Alexander, the assistant GM from the Chargers, that's when I knew it was over. And we really didn't need another hype man down there to just try to sell tickets. And
And that's the thing, we all, like I said, every single year, regardless of whether it's players or coaches, we always try to get the shiny new toy. I'm sure that everybody in Finn's Nation is like, oh, I don't want this guy. Everybody wanted the shiny toy, but hey, you got to start from somewhere. I mean, I personally was tired of first year coaches like we all are. But I'm willing to say, because I've seen him coach at Boston College and I've seen him with the Packers, and he seems well respected and he seems kind of feisty and tough. That's what we need. We need to change of direction.
The one thing that I liked, he said we need to build a team that can play in the outside elements. That right there is a game changer. He came out and said, we need to be able to win in New England, Buffalo, and all that stuff like that. You have to, both New York teams and New England, and we need to be physical. And then with the new GM, John Eric, with him saying, he wanted to keep and work around them 5-6 players he talked about. Packers always draft very well. So, I mean, I think it's an up thing. It's just because it's not the new shiny toy that we've constantly given the new shiny toy to throw in our faces to make us happy so we sell tickets. But I think Stephen Ross is realizing that he's losing his fan base and everything too, that we need to start building from the trenches up and building from the draft and keep our homegrown talent that we've been talking about. Like Russell, you've been saying this now for 2-3 years now.
Yep.
So.
The funny thing too, guys, is this. I mean, Stephen Ross is a businessman. Like Johnny O had said, listen, he's about portfolio building. He's not a football guy. He's not someone who, acknowledges that he's got people around him. He had a Chris Greer who was a yes man, similar to like a Jerry Jones type of situation. And you're not going to win like that. I mean, we listened to our GM for the past, 10, 12 years, say the most outlandish, foolish stuff. And of course, we bit the bullet and bought it. We knew, but obviously he didn't know. He said how the offensive line, the fans are more worried about it than we are. Johnny O could tell you, what do we have, Johnny O? 15, 16 different combinations?
Yeah, 13 out of 17 games, different 25.
And then we signed James Daniels. Everybody was excited about that. He played actually 4 plays this year. 4.
Yeah.
Think about that for a minute. We signed a guy who tore his Achilles the year before for the Steelers, and he came to the Dolphins and played 4 single games. We never had our original, quote unquote, coming out of camp starting lineup on the offensive line, which was supposed to be Brewer at center, Daniels and Jonah at guards, and Jackson and Paul at the tackles. We never had that lineup at one single game. Not one.
Right. One thing I want to see. I'm sorry, Russell. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You go ahead, Derek. I'll finish my statement in a minute. Go ahead.
Well, it's off subject. I think it just hit my brain here. One thing I want to see is I want the head coach to be the head coach and not try to be the defensive coordinator, not be the offensive coordinator. I think he's got so much on his plate. If McDaniels would have stepped back and let other people bring in stuff, I think we would have been a lot better. We need the head coach to, manage everybody and not just one thing. And I think that's where McDaniels tried too much with the offense, and then the defense slacked off at certain times. The head coach needs to be the guy up top and let the other guy assistants handle stuff is what I'd like to see. And I have a feeling that that's what's going to happen here. I'd like to see our head coach hire a defensive coordinator and an offense coordinator.
Well, we're going to find out real quick with McDaniel if he's signing with the Chargers and just the offensive coordinator, how good or bad he's going to do. So, he may prove our point for us. If he goes there and does great as the offensive coordinator and just concentrates on that, and they do well, then we were right. Concentrate on what you're doing and not what everybody's doing.
You know what the problem with him was? He got too egotistical, and he got so confident in his offensive genius that he thought he was a genius in everything. So he didn't let other people, he wouldn't delegate everybody else. Although Anthony Weaver, who I think I had said last week, he's going to get a head coaching job in this cycle. He was good with what he was given. I mean, you only can do so much with so much. I mean, our team was depleted right out of camp with no secondary guys. I had said in April we should sign Jack Jones or Rasul Douglas. Boy, Russell, what a soothsayer I am. We signed both of them. We played decently. We started out 1-6, then we won 4 games, which we shouldn't have done because it messed up our draft position. I mean, but we want to win with fans. Of course we want to win. But when it came academic that we weren't going to make the playoffs, and then McDaniel's going to bench Tua to save his own hide, you know what I'm saying? I mean, no quarterback has regressed as fast as Tua has, but there's reasons for his regression. It wasn't like the guy who was the most accurate guy the prior season all of a sudden got terrible.
Right.
I mean, I'm sure that he, meaning Tua, was wary of, I got a brand new right tackle because he had Larry Borum, the human turnstile at Disney World, blocking. He didn't have Austin Jackson from the start. So he's probably in his head, I got this contract. I got to try to make do with it. I got to get through it. He's getting hit left and right. He got gun shy. And then everything else fell into place. When we were running the ball, we took a lot of pressure off of him. We played better. But then we got injuries all along the offensive line. We got injuries in the wide receiver core. It got to the point where Waddle was in and out, and Waddle was the only main guy after Tyreek went down in week 4. We had Waller play well for a little bit, then he went down. We had Malik Washington with that stupid bubble screen, which is awful. That should have been thrown out of the playbook. They continue to use it. Then we had Greg Dulcich, who played well at tight end. I mean, we had too many combinations for any chemistry to be evolved around that team. And I mean, I'm surprised we won 7 games with that lineup that we had. And I mean, obviously Quinn Ewers, he was behind the line. He's not the answer either. And, I'm hoping.
I think Quentin Ewers is going to be a decent player for us. I think he's going to be our starting quarterback next year. But one thing that we kept doing is when we did get some good stuff going, we kept hammering Achane, or we kept hammering the screen with Malik, or we just kept using the same over and over and over, and we didn't have nothing else to adjust to. That's why I think McDaniels is going to do well. I think as the offensive coordinator, I honestly think he put everything in one basket for Tua. He had Tua looking great. Tua took the extra hits. All the extra concussions, and I think it's finally caught up with him. I think he finally took this offseason or the past offseason off to try to let his brain heal and enjoy family time. When you want to be elite, you have to keep practicing. You got to keep throwing, and then he didn't. He just was like, okay, he acted like he was basically retired. He got money and went off into fantasy world. He went to Disney World or whatever the hell you want to call it, and he just stopped. He stopped doing everything. When you need to be elite, you got to practice, and I think that's what hurt him. And then McDaniels knew that he was handicapped. It got to the point where I still love Tua to death. He was one of my favorite players, but with everything that happened to him, and I honestly, I think he's still having definitely some lingering issues up in his brain, And
I think the biggest lingering issue is his hip. I think his hip is deteriorating, and that's why he can't move the way he did.
Yep.
And then when he get up in the cold, his body, his hips probably deteriorating. He's probably like a 50 or 60-year-old hip. He probably needs a full hip replacement. They probably in college, and then when he hurt it, they probably just kept patching it, doing temporary surgeries.
I think our next quarterback is not on our roster currently. Quinn Ewers is okay, but I think our next starting quarterback is obviously not on the roster yet. And I wouldn't be all that surprised that if Dolphins don't go out and get Malik Willis from the Packers.
I hope not.
He's a free. I'm just saying he's a free agent, but they're going to get a bridge quarterback because next year's draft, there'll be decent quarterbacks. Because obviously Miami's not going to be a playoff type team this coming season. I mean, anything's possible, but I don't know. I don't think with a new system, a new coach, and we're going to take our lumps. So we could possibly be in the top 10 or 12 picks in next year's draft. There's at least 4 or 5 decent first round type guys the following year that we might end up with our franchise quarterback. We might get a bridge quarterback just for a year. I'm not saying that it should happen, but it's possible that it will happen.
Shit,
I definitely think
be so bad. We're going to get one of the top 3 picks.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We're going to be able to get somebody that's going to be a franchise type guy. You got Arch Manning, possibly. You got the kid at South Carolina. You got there's somebody else I'm thinking of off the top of my head.
Arch better show me something because after this year, I don't want him.
No, but that's now. I mean,
want a quarterback. I want a quarterback 6'3", 250. I want a big dude. It's a big old
Arch Manning's a huge quarterback. I'm just saying. I'm not saying we're going to get Arch Manning. I'm just saying there are decent guys in next year's college draft that will be the type of guy that you could build around.
You got the kid when I got to Oregon because he didn't want to play for.
Moore. Yeah, I mean, like I said, we'll see.
I know when I walked past Justin Herbert on the field when I got to do the flag, I walked by Josh Allen before a few years ago. But when I walked by Justin Herbert, you just looked up at him. It was like, holy shit. You know what I mean? He was beast.
I mean, those are 6'5", 6'6" type guys. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that we need a guy. I mean, I don't care if the guy's 5'11", 6 feet. We need a guy who could throw the ball with some ump behind it. Because, like you said, we play in cold weather games. You can't have a guy throwing a frisbee. You need a guy who can throw a bullet and a dot in all type of conditions, not just, he looks great in South Florida. We play in Buffalo. We play in Foxborough. We play in New Jersey. So you need a guy who can throw that ball through that wind and snap that ball. You know, not the guy that, it looks like a kite flying on a string, and that's to his problem. He's decent as in touch and decent with accuracy, but he's not a long ball thrower, and he's a smaller guy. And you're talking about a compromised guy. He came into the NFL with a bad hip and 2 injuries to his ankle that they repaired just so he could play in the bowl games. So it's not like, we went out and got a healthy quarterback.
No, that was a decision on the front office.
Yeah, that's Greer and Flores arguing about it. Flores wanted Love. He wanted, what's his name there? Tua.
Well, they did the tank for Tua, and then they were all on him and everything. They put all their marbles in his basket, and then he broke the hip or whatever. And then I don't know why we didn't try to start looking at something else, but it was like they were still infatuated with him. And then we drafted him, and then we have to sit him the whole year.
The Dolphins organization, we've spoken about this, all of us at least, we've spoken this ad nauseam. We don't draft the guy that we should draft. We draft the guy that's the country, everybody likes him, he's nice. We don't go out and grab the guy who's punched 5 people in his church and he's coming in with an ankle bracelet, but he's still the number 1 pick. We don't do that. We draft for finesse, we draft for speed. We draft the culture. We don't draft we need to knock people off the ball. We need to knock you off the line. We don't do that. We haven't done that since probably early 2000.
We just wait till they got 7 to 10 years in, and then give them the big bag of money, because then they were badasses, And then now we're giving them their retirement check going out the door, and they come play a couple snaps like James Daniels. And
we all know, because we all have eyes. Johnny knows, Paul knows, Your shelf life in the NFL is 5 to 6 years. You ain't playing 20 years. It's rare. Tom Brady did, but come on, they changed the rules so much that it was like flag football for a quarterback. You can't touch them.
Yeah,
right. Well, you're talking about
you don't play with those rules. He'd have played 25 years.
Yeah, you can't. Like you guys all know, Dan Marino he looked like a knight in shining armor with all the armor he had to wear, but he was getting hit low, high, upside the head, chop blocked, everything. He was like a walking X-ray unit. He had to have a special shoe because of his Achilles, so it would have some give. He had his knee drained every single off season. He was getting beat up. These guys don't do that today. These guys.
I still remember when we got our asses kicked 62-7, and that was Marino's last game basically, and he just looked like he looked like a 90-year-old man on the field.
Yep, that Jacksonville game was ugly. But it's not so much
that's all I hear in Jacksonville when I wear my Dolphin stuff. Yeah, we kicked your ass back in the day. I'm like,
the sad part is we all know they changed the game for more TV. They made it more offensive, and they made it so that, You can't hit nobody. We want all the stars to be out there, the Burrows, the Mahomes, whoever the top guy is at that time. And that's what they did. Marino, Montana, Jim Kelly, John Elway. Those guys, you look at them guys today, oh my God, they look like they're ready for AARP or wheelchairs. I mean, but they took a beating to be winners, you know? The money wasn't the same as it is today. You talk about those guys, Troy Aikman and all those great quarterbacks of that era, but the game was more physical also.
Right, and they're lucky they're making the money now because, like, Marino made $55 million in his whole career, and Tua made that in 1 year. So it's just crazy the difference between the money, you know?
Well, it's going to keep being crazy. I want to go back to something we said earlier, that when I think it was the new GM said he wants to build a team to play in cold weather.
Yep.
You can draft guys out of cold weather colleges. Once they get to Miami and their blood thins out, it sucks going back up in the cold.
Oh, yeah, it does.
You could draft every guy you want out of Wisconsin and Michigan and Ohio State and upstate New York and, you know, all these cold places. But they get down to Miami and start practicing there and spend some time there and their blood thins out. And then you go on the road to the cold games. They're fucking cold.
Oh, definitely.
There's got to be a way. They got the money. Put them in a
I think it's more a mindset. I think it's more of a mindset. Obviously, you know, if you're from Florida and you're playing in outdoors in Green Bay, you've been in Florida half the year. You're going out to Green Bay for 4 hours or the day or two before the game. You're not used to it. I don't care. You can trick your mind all you want. If you're not liking cold, nobody likes the cold. I live here and I don't like the cold, but I can react better to it because I live here all the time. Just like someone who lives in Florida 8-9 months of the year and they come to Massachusetts, New Jersey, wherever, for a day or a weekend, they're like, oh, I can't wait to get out of here. It's cold. Because you haven't been in it. And Johnny O, you're correct. You can draft a guy from Minnesota. You can draft a guy from Alaska. You put him in South Florida for 3 months. He don't want to see nothing to do with Alaska, not even TV commercials. Right. So, you know, your blood thins out, like you said. Listen, I was in Florida January, the day after the Dolphins game up here in Foxborough. And we were there for a week. And I was like, it was 81 every day. And I met up with Bob Sampson at the hotel. And he was like, oh, Russell, how you doing? Blah, blah. How's the weather back home? I said, we left. It was 22. Now, he's originally from New York area, New Jersey. He's like, you can keep that shit. And this is what I'm saying about people who don't realize it. Like, Johnny, you're in the cold right now. And you know, it's a whole different feeling of walking out of your hotel at 90 degrees in June or July. And then
right, I'll tell you right now, like I'll say it was 50 degrees today. I was in pants and a jacket today. This time last year,
you hearing that, Johnny? Pants and a jacket at 50.
Yeah, and you've only been at 7 months.
Hey, I woke up this morning, Derek, to put my trash cans to the curb because it's trash day here. And it was 14 degrees.
Yeah, you can keep it.
14.
It was 4.
And I'm not talking about, this is not 7 in the morning. I put my trash cans out like around 10 o'clock. And it was 14. So I'm not going to say 50 degrees. Man, that's tropical for this if that was here today.
For you guys, that's what I said, yeah. But moving down here and being through just one summer, you know, where it's over 100 degrees and the humidity's up, it's like, it gets cold.
Listen, I don't mind cold weather. I mind it, excuse me, when it's windy, because it's worse.
Oh, yeah, the wind is terrible.
Listen, 14 is 14. I don't give a damn where you're at. But when it's 14 and it's 6 mile an hour winds and it's below 0, now we got a problem.
Yeah, you would never see me. I'm in a long sleeve, dry fit DolFans, like dry fit, cold gear thing. I got a training camp, the DolFans cold gear stuff on right now. I'm just like mind blown. And I'm like, because I told you it would eventually get cold. So,
well, you know, I always tell people, like, out here, the worst month of the year is February. February is usually brutal, and it's not snow. I don't care if it snows, because if it usually snows, it's in the 30s. Yeah. I don't like when it snows and then that next night it gets down to 18 degrees. Now the snow is outside like a brick. You can't move it. I mean, I have a plow. But, I mean, outside of, you look out the window and you're seeing the swirling wind and it's snowing and it looks like, oh my God, it looks like Ice Station Zero outside. And you're like, what the hell? I got to go out there and clean the drive because my girl goes to work. She's a registered nurse, so she has to work Monday through Friday. And I'm saying to myself, oh my God, what the hell? But people make me laugh. I'm hearing people in Florida saying, oh, it was freezing. What was it? 60. 60? What would you do in 16? 60? Like my father used to say, cold is cold. It don't matter where you're at. It's cold. It's all a mindset. If you believe you're cold, because most people, your feet get cold, forget it. You're done. Feet, hands
Right.
cold.
See, I've noticed the difference with just having some plates in the leg and the foot and the ankle and all that. That once that stuff gets cold, there's no warming it back up. But like the one guy just commented on here under our comment section, he said that look at the Rams. Rams come over to Chicago. It was how cold it was, 10, 12 degrees, snowing. It's a mindset. If you train these guys to be physical and just block out certain things and certain emotions, that you can win games. And I think our biggest thing is coaching. We need physicality, and we get that. I have a feeling that we're going to get that from this new regime. I still don't think we're super far away from where we need to be a playoff team. I think we got a lot of good guys that are still here that can make it happen. We definitely, now that's coming out now, you're seeing that there is a lot of chaos going in Buffalo. You've been in the playoffs for 9 years and lost every single one of them so far and not making it. There's fight over about that Keon Coleman or whatever, and that's why.
I meant to ask you guys about that. Keon Coleman's been here 2 years. How are you blaming him for? He don't miss tackles. He's a wide receiver.
But he's been there once. He's a rookie. It's his first year.
Yeah, well, he was with Florida State. This is his. Okay, just think about this for a second. Keon Coleman wasn't there when they lost to the Kansas City on the 13 seconds where Tyreek Hill tied up the game. He wasn't there when they lost that in Cincinnati, at home against Cincinnati. He wasn't the one that missed the field goal. He wasn't the one that missed the tackle. That owner, Pagulia, should be ashamed of himself for throwing that kid under the bus like that.
Yeah, and then on top of it, I mean, even McDermott was still a good coach. But you had, that Brandon Beane gets promoted. You fire your coach, and then you get promoted, so you're president of football. Can you imagine if they would have had, I know it's what ifs, but if they had a true number one receiver, if you had Josh Allen throwing to Jalen Waddles, they would have beat Denver, hands down.
But think about this for a second, Derek. They also had Stephon Diggs, who was a number one receiver for them.
Right, but they went downhill, though. They went downhill since they left Diggs and his childish behaviors. He's went up to New England. They ain't playing any of that bullshit that he wanted to do.
He went to Houston first, then he went to
he went to Houston and then
okay, but still, you had other avenues to win. You had weapons. So I don't want to hear, it's Keon Coleman. To the average person who knows nothing about football and heard the owner say, Keon Coleman, what would you think? Keon Coleman was the worst thing since freaking sliced bread.
Right.
But he didn't make any tackles on defense. He didn't give up a drive that you let Kansas City score in 13 seconds on an 8-yard pass. He did not call the coin in overtime. He did not let Cincinnati beat you in the AFC Championship in Buffalo.
Right. Well,
those are all excuses.
I do agree with you. I do agree with you. It is wrong. They're throwing him under the bus, but they're backing that Brandon Beane for some reason.
Well, that's fine.
They're saying the whole coaching system, and he didn't want that. I mean, there's a lot. There must have been a divide in the last few years that's going on in there. When there's conflict and you guys are not on the same page, I don't care if you have a superstar team or not. You're not going to win if there's conflict in there, and it's finally showing. I think the Bills are in trouble. I think Josh Allen will be gone in a few years if that crap keeps going on. Because he's not going to win in Buffalo. There's a reason why they've lost 4 Super Bowls in a row. There's issues going on there.
Buffalo's problem is this: Buffalo invested in the quarterback, who's really good. Josh Allen's awesome. I'm not going to say he isn't, but you replenish along the way. I mean, okay, you lost Stephon Diggs. They They actually tried to trade for Waddle, which I would have went nuts if we would have traded Waddle within the division to Buffalo.
I agree.
They wanted to give Miami a 2027 first round. Miami wanted a 2026 first round. I don't give a shit. No, I wouldn't have done that. But you can't say woulda, coulda, shoulda, because hey, they still had a strong enough team to make the playoffs. They didn't win in the playoffs. They lost in a tough game against Denver. I mean, it is what it is. You need a new voice, maybe, but I wouldn't have thrown a wide receiver who's in his first or second year under the bus because of certain decisions that were made on the field. You still missed tackles. You still gave up drives. You still missed field goals. That has nothing to do with Keon Coleman.
Right, and even if you have an MVP quarterback like you do with Josh Allen, one guy doesn't make the team. He needed other weapons around him to help him, and they did not try to fill any of the voids. Well, especially after Diggs left, they didn't really have anybody. They had Shakir. They just missed pieces, and they just, you know what I mean? And they just kept playing the blame game, and it's finally caught up to him. It's finally coming out. And, I'm just – now people are, these great teams are having conflicts and stuff too. And, I like it as taking the eyes off the Dolphins now, and hopefully we can build, not be in the limelight for having the flashy, car or the person or, because we need to build in the trenches. We need to get away from the shiny new toy.
It's time for that commercial break, guys.
What's up, y'all? This is Chef Jew. Looking for a great chef for your next catering party, private party, office party, etc. with welcome watering meals and desserts? Let Chef Jew Catering and Sweet Treats take care of it for you at an affordable price. Call me at 786-804-8096. Also reach me at chefjewcatering@gmail.com. Direct message on Facebook and Instagram at Chef Juice Catering. Chef Juice Catering and Sweet Treats, food with a passion. We do it all.
Chef Jew Catering, get your sweet treats and goodies, and don't forget the cheesecake. Let's welcome Six Rings to the panel.
What's up, Six Rings?
What up, Six Rings?
You were talking about Buffalo, and you know what's funny? They need Stephon Diggs. How ironic is that?
Yeah, well, listen, Buffalo should be ashamed of themselves.
I think if they have Stephon Diggs, they win that game.
I wouldn't say that for sure, but they definitely need a number one target. But they definitely did better when the stuff came down to it with Diggs there, But they got screwed. That was a catch. And then you go around in the next game, you know what I mean, the next night or whatever with the Rams and Eagles game or whatever, and they call it a catch. But
the Patriots had to play like that with Marcus Jones on one of their receivers. And Marcus Jones took it away. And they ruled that he was down on contact.
Oh, was it the Patriots they rolled? Yeah, okay, it was one of them, yeah.
You remember the catch?
And the funny thing is, these calls like those close plays like that have been going on since the Green Bay Dez Bryant catch. Remember that in the playoff? These close calls, rolling over. Did he have it? Did he touch the ground? I mean, it's so tiring already, because ever since they put betting into games now, I mean, it's ruined everything.
Yep.
It's ruined everything. Because, I mean,
Why?
personally, you as a player, there are people who bet on certain plays, they bet on calls, they bet on all kind of crap. And you have families, and you obviously are trying to play a game that supplies for the lifestyle of your family. You make a catch, you make a play, you don't make a play. We as fans, you might run into these people in malls, you run into people in stores, and you get abuse for, oh, I bet on you, you didn't do this, and it's so stupid now with the rules. Did he make a catch? Did he step out of bounds? They got the virtual measurement. Did he make it by a first down? Did he not? I mean, you ever watch a game where a guy runs a play, say it's 3rd and 2, and they're in a pileup? How do you know actually where he went down in a pileup with a virtual measurement?
Right.
You always see the ref run the ball back a half a yard or half a yard forward. How do you know? I mean, it's so crazy. See guys.
I have a response to that.
It's human error. It's human. That's what makes the game interesting. If they put a bunch of cameras and robots out there, the game would be a hell of a lot less interesting. It's no different than an umpire in Major League Baseball or referees in the NBA. Where the guy sticks his hand out and they call a foul, and from his angle it looked like he touched him, but he actually didn't. It's the human part of the game, and that's what keeps it interesting.
Yeah. Johnny O, not to cut you off, but did you end up getting your pins yet?
Not yet.
Okay. Hopefully they'll be there tomorrow or Friday.
Yeah, we'll see.
But I don't think betting ruined football.
Betting ruined all sports.
But okay, if it was like that, the Patriots are 5-point favorites, 5.5-point favorites to beat Denver on Sunday, okay? So if everyone's going by this thing that Vegas wants certain teams to pay out, doesn't it make sense for Denver to beat New England?
No.
And then all that money would go to Vegas?
No, Vegas makes their money, bro.
Regardless.
They're going to make money. They put lines out so people bet on them. You say you think New England's going to win, so you bet on New England. I say I think Denver's going to win. I bet on Denver. You win $100, I lose 110. Vegas made $10. Now times that by millions of people that are doing it. They're going to make their money.
By the people, it's I think 75% New England, 85 New England.
Okay, then they're going to change the line because it can't be that high because the line would have changed already.
It's going to change closer to the game.
Make Denver win, and
that line has changed. The spread has changed. The betting odds have changed even at halftime in football games.
Yeah,
and the funny thing is, football, you can bet on anything. You can bet on, is he going to get a first down in this? Because they got individual bets. You don't even have to bet on the winner or the loser. You can bet on, do you think he's going to gain 30 yards?
42.5. You can bet on that too.
You can bet on anything. You can bet on the color of what team's going to wear what. You can bet on who's going to gain so many yards. You can bet on how many penalties. You can bet on all kind of stuff, similar to like the week of the Super Bowl. You can bet on what Gatorade they're going to pour on the winning team. You can bet on the coin flip. You can bet on how many kicks are going to be made during the game. It's got to the point where it's changed so much of the dynamic that if you're a bettor, well, that's cool. But the average everyday fan, I give two shits about spreads. I just wanted to win, loss, and that's it.
Right. Well, as soon as you start putting money, you start getting money involved in everything, stuff starts not being as fun anymore.
Or I got Marcus Jones.
Listen, I live here in Massachusetts. I'm tired of the Patriots. You don't think I'm sitting here rooting for the Broncos? I root for the damn Cows. I don't care who it is to beat New England.
And then of all times, go figure, you get Bo Nix to break his ankle. Like, it's almost a damn near a given. Patriots will have 3 or 4 turnovers.
You know what, man? We don't have any AFL titles. Remember that.
Hey, fellas.
What's up,
what's up, dude?
What's up, Anthony?
So why do all these other teams gotta have AFL titles and NFL titles and we don't?
For you guys, how likely is you think Hafley keeps a Weaver if he doesn't get a coaching job?
I think Weaver's going to get a coaching job. I think he's going to be the next coach of the Baltimore Ravens.
I don't think so. I'm thinking the guy I think might get that job is the defensive coordinator for the Chargers.
Minter?
Yeah, Mentor.
No, I think it's going to be Weaver. Only because, like I said earlier in the show, when I had told everybody last week, Halfley was going to be the head coach of the Dolphins. A lot of guys like people they're comfortable with. I'm not saying Minter might not get the job, but Weaver was with the Ravens. The organization likes him. He's already having a second interview this week.
For me, sometimes when I see these second interviews, I feel sometimes they don't lead anywhere. They're just getting they just get a second. For me, I feel that interview is just because he's been with that second interview is more to do that he had been in that franchise for almost 10 years and stuff like that. It's more of a respect thing than anything. I don't think he actually gets that job.
Okay, we'll see. I heard the same thing about Halfley.
Yeah,
honestly, I like the Halfley hire, to be honest. Because
with having a lot of family and people up in Maryland and down in Baltimore areas, they really, really want Weaver. Weaver's highly respected in the Baltimore Ravens organization.
Yep. He's going to end up.
Ozzie Newsome is still not part of that. He's not the GM anymore. He's still got a lot.
Yep, he's still got a lot of pull there.
Yeah, and the Halfley thing, the reason why I like the Halfley hire is people blame him for what happened at Boston College. Like
he did great at Boston College.
He did. You know, this is what we spoke about earlier about Boston College, because I live here in Massachusetts. Boston College is not Miami. It's not Clemson. It's not NC State. It's not Florida State. It's hard to get kids to come to the Northeast from warm weather sites to play in the ACC for Boston College. He took Boston College to 3 bowls. He was 2 games under 500 in 4 years. Boston College was competitive. It wasn't like they were getting smacked around. They were competitive.
Yeah, they care. Well, people forget he almost beat Florida State like 2 or 3 times, and Clemson.
Yeah, he beat
twice.
Florida. He beat Florida State as a Boston College coach. He also beat Miami as a Boston College coach. It's just that people don't realize that NIL. You're not coming to Boston College. Believe me.
They don't have an NIL. They don't give out money.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's not like
the NIL to me for Boston College goes to their hockey team and basketball.
Nah, their basketball team's trash too. It's just hockey. Boston College hockey is like BU, the Bean Pot, Northeastern, Harvard. That's big out here, hockey. I mean, outside of the Patriots, the Red Sox, the Celtics, who cares about those 3? I mean, that's what it is. But college sports-wise, the Boston schools are all hockey.
We're like, I've always wondered this, is people always say that the Patriots are not really considered like Boston. That Boston is more, Foxborough is more Connecticut than Massachusetts.
No, Foxborough's not in Connecticut. Foxborough's. I live in Massachusetts. Foxborough's 26 minutes from my house. And Boston's like 45 minutes from Foxborough. Connecticut's not even close. Rhode Island's closer.
Oh, no, that's what I meant to say. They say it's more, Foxborough's more like Rhode Island, New Hampshire.
Well, Rhode Island's 28 minutes away. Providence, you could take the train from Providence right to Foxborough. It's 26 minutes.
Are there certain cities like in New York that are more like that are considered more like culturally attached to Massachusetts than New York? Like, are there?
What do you mean?
Like suburbs or like?
Well, I live in the city of Fall River, Mass. It's kind of big city. Fall River, New Bedford, Mass.
Yeah.
There's smaller towns around where we live, but Foxborough is like, Foxborough's not a big city. It's small. It's more of a town of Foxborough. It's kind of small. It's similar to like if you were comparing Boston, which is big, to like Braintree. Nah, Boston and Miami are both huge. But I'm saying like it's like comparing Miami to, say, I don't know, Davie in Florida. It's smaller.
Yeah.
Foxborough smaller.
Is Cambridge
compared to Boston.
Big city? Like a big
Cambridge, Mass is kind of big. It's in the Boston, so it's a suburb of Boston. Yeah.
Hey,
So
hey
far.
Russell.
Yeah, no. I'm going to use a perfect example. A lot of, depending on what part of New York you live in, a lot of people are more like culturally, even though they're in the city, like a lot of people consider themselves more Philadelphia or New Jersey, like culturally.
Listen, out here, everybody in Massachusetts is Patriots. They ain't culturally like New York and New Jersey, like your Jets and your Giants. No, everybody out here is Patriots. I mean, there's fans of other teams, but most of Massachusetts is Patriots.
Until you
No
get
matter
to the
where you
West.
live.
No, when
Yeah,
you get to the when you get to the West End, Russell, near
I
closer to New
believe.
York.
I think the.
Oh, well, yeah, but that's the opposite way. If you're going Western Mass, I mean, Western Mass is like UMass Amherst. I'm saying, like, if you live in Connecticut, yeah, you might be more of a fan of the Giants or the Jets because you're closer to New York, New Jersey.
Well, no,
But I'm saying in the state of Massachusetts, everybody's pretty much Patriots.
Yeah, no, and I think I can't remember. I know that they grew up in Arizona and stuff like that, but his father, I think the Kachucks are his father's originally from that Massachusetts, that
And he's
northeast
probably a
area. Like,
Well, my dad is born and raised here in Massachusetts, rest his soul. But when he grew up, he was a kid. The teams that were on TV all the time were the Vikings, the Cleveland Browns, the Baltimore Colts, and the Green Bay Packers. He was a big Minnesota Vikings fan. And this is before Fran Tarkenton. We're talking Joe Cap. So he was a big Purple People Eaters.
Did you guys get a lot of Philadelphia games in Boston?
No.
No.
Patriots?
No.
Like
here in Massachusetts, we only get
a lot of South Jersey is Philly fans because they're closer to the city.
Yes.
Okay. You know, so South Jersey down near Atlantic City is much closer to Philadelphia than where I'm at. I'm 45 minutes from MetLife Stadium. So, you know, you get a lot of Giants, Jets fans in where I'm at, but you go south, like when I travel into Florida and if I go down to Atlantic City to take a flight, a lot of people that work in the airport are Phillies fans, you know, Flyers, Eagles.
I have friends who are originally from Massachusetts, Russell, and they're from like a place called Bainbridge, Mass.
Yeah, I know where that is. It's way up.
Is that like northern Massachusetts?
Yeah, it's way up. Yes, opposite of north of Boston.
Oh, Bainbridge is that like a suburb of Boston? A northern suburb of Boston?
No. It's much further north.
It's way further north. Boston hasn't had the only places that are close to Boston, like Quincy, Peabody, and like Dorchester, Mattapan. Those are suburbs of Boston. Dorchester, Mattapan, Roxbury. Those are suburbs of Boston. Papa Paul can tell you because he lived in the Boston area.
Yeah. Well, the city that they showed parts of the Patriots Day movie in, where they caught the guy, is that like outside of Boston? That neighborhood, like Dorchester or whatever.
Dorchester's in Boston. That's a suburb of Boston.
Oh, Dorchester.
Dorchester, Mattapan, Roxbury, Hyde Park. Those are all suburbs of Boston. Similar to like the boroughs of New York.
Right.
Yeah, they're all little spots around Boston in the inner Boston area. But you have cities
what part of Boston is that downtown?
Fenway Park?
Yeah, Fenway.
No, that's not downtown.
No,
that's towards Kenmore and
Kenmore Square and
it's in the Boston.
Unless I'm thinking of TD Garden, that's in downtown.
TD Garden's closer to downtown.
Okay.
But that's North Station. That's not downtown either.
No, Boston has no sports teams in downtown because the city was built up so quickly.
Yeah.
They didn't want to put anything in there. They were all on the outskirts.
TD Garden is North Station where they just put that over there. The old Boston Garden was in North Station also. The TD Garden is the home of the Bruins and the Celtics. That's North Station where the trains go. Kenmore Station is where Fenway Park is. The Patriots don't play in Boston. They used to, years and years in the 60s. My first ever game, 1970, the Patriots used to play. They were the Boston Patriots. They played at Boston University at Nickerson Field. I went when they were AFL with my dad. And then they moved to Foxborough. Because
is the regional, like, was it cheaper to get a stadium in Foxborough than trying to build one in the city?
No, they couldn't build one in the city. It's too
Yeah,
built
they
up.
couldn't.
Had
They
to go
couldn't
out.
build it. They couldn't build like right now for the last, I'd say maybe 30 years. They kept talking about they wanted to build a new Fenway Park, but they can't. There's no way to build it in Boston
And that's
because how the layout of the city is.
right. And even where Fenway is, the reason they got the Green Monster is they didn't have room to build left field any further out.
Because
So
of
they
the
had to-
highway.
Yeah,
That's
because of the
that's
highway.
Mass Pike.
So
Yeah,
they
that's
had
the
to
Mass
build the
Pike.
wall up. They built the wall to make it
Separated from the highway.
that, and yes, the cars weren't getting hit with home runs, but
Yeah.
also if you were going to hit a home run, you had to hit it higher
Over
instead of farther.
Yep. And you know the funny thing is, Mass Pike is underneath, like where the Green Monster is, the left field. You hit a ball. There's parking lots for the Red Sox that they lease fans. But over that's the highway. That's
Yeah.
heading north and south.
Oh well, part of Boston is Harvard Yarden. The
Harvard
the
Yard.
port.
That's. Oh, you mean the Charles River?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of probably south, not South Boston, but the Charles is kind of towards the south. It's not southie like Charlestown, but it's the Charlestown Naval Yard. You remember the USS Constitution? That's probably south, probably southie.
Now, do you consider yourself a Southie, Russell?
Hell no, I live 45 minutes south of Boston. I don't live in the Boston area.
Because you have that really thick Boston accent.
No, he
I
doesn't.
live in Massachusetts, brother. Yeah, I don't have nothing to do with Boston.
He's got
I traveled to Boston, but I don't. I'm a Massachusetts guy. That's all I got. Massachusetts accent. I don't live anywhere near Boston.
He's got the Mass accent. He does not have the Boston accent.
No, I don't have the pocket car in the Harvard Yard. No, I live south. Yeah, I live south of Boston. When people say, "Oh, if people ask me where you live," I say Massachusetts because if I say the city I live, they don't know where it is. But if I say Boston, everybody knows what Boston is. I don't live in Boston. I live 45 miles south of Boston.
That's like when I used to say when I was in Maryland, they would be like, they'd be like Baltimore. It's like, yeah, even though it's 2 hours away, but yeah, it's Baltimore.
I mean, Boston's cool. Boston's cool. Like I may make during a year, honest to God, I live only 40 miles south of Boston, which is maybe a 40-minute trip. I may go to Boston maybe in a year 4 times. I might go to a couple Red Sox games. I'll go when they play my Braves. I went with my son-in-law when they played the Dodgers. I go with my friends that I used to work with at Titleist that I retired. I go see the Yankees maybe twice, and that's it. I go to the DolFans and Patriots game in Foxborough, which is closer, once a year. Go to TD Garden. I've been once to see the Rockets, but I don't make trips to Boston all that much.
How does it feel to be in enemy territory, Russell?
Listen, I wear Dolphin stuff regardless, year round. Don't matter who you are, where I go. I wear my Braves stuff in baseball season. I don't fear nobody. I don't shirk my duty as being a fan. I don't care what anybody else does. I don't care what anybody else says. I got 2 rules. You can talk all you want, just don't put your hands on me. You put your hands on me, all bets are off. You like what you like.
It's weird. It feels like I have a ton of a lot of North, like Massachusetts, specifically Boston and Patriots fans that live around me in Sarasota. They feel arrogant. Like those fans can, like, they're very
well. They should feel arrogant. They won 6 Super Bowls, so they have the right to feel arrogant. I mean, that's cool. That's in the past, but it's still 6. So
I'm talking about the old school fans before. Like, this is when the team was horrible.
But listen, this is what I'm saying about fandom. You can like whatever team you like. I don't give a damn what state you live in. If you live in New York, you like the Cowboys. You live in Florida, you like the Broncos. I don't care what state you live in. My thing is this. Everybody's fandom is different. I don't care about what anybody else does. I don't care what anybody else says. I wear my Dolphin stuff. I go to the Patriots game here every single season. I talk shit no matter what my team's record is because I'm a fan. I go whether we're winning, whether we're losing. I've told Johnny O, I've told Papa Paul, I've told Derek, I've told anybody in this panel who has ears, if you ever want to come up here, you got a place to stay and you got to go to the game. You'll see Because nobody bothers us. Because I go with people that you ain't gonna bother anyway. So
Is
there's
there
no
a big
intimidation.
like you know how in New York there's a huge population of in Massachusetts? Is there like a huge population of Dolphins fans?
Oh yeah. Ask my brother Dolphin Winters. He came here 3 years ago. He had never been to Massachusetts. We went to the Dolphins game on Sunday night. The Dolphins won with Tua. And he couldn't believe how many Dolphin fans he saw. And I kept telling people, don't believe people who have never been here under this false guise of, oh, the fans are mean. Oh, they're going to do this. They're going to do that. They ain't going to do jack. You come here, you go to the game, you have a great time. Bob Sampson, my main man at 50 grand down in Florida, had never came up here. We spoke through a conversation on the phone. He had never been up here. He came January 1st. He comes every year now. And he said, I always heard how bad it was. And he loves it. Why? Because you listen to false impressions from people who have never done nothing, say stuff.
Listen, I grew up in Connecticut. I used to go to Dolphins, Patriots games in Foxborough all the time. Never had any trouble.
Never.
Yeah,
Never.
no, and you know what it is?
People
I
don't
think
fuck with me because I'm a Dolphins fan.
You know what it is too? I think the misperception of that Boston fan, they assume Boston fan, like Boston sports fans are as bad as Philly fans, where they
Not
actually
even close.
Nah, they're not close.
Not even close.
I mean, you get idiots fans regardless of what stadium you go to, but it's not close. I've been to Philly. I got family that live in Philly. I remember them going to Philadelphia, Dallas games, and if you wore a Dallas jersey or hat, you better been prepared to fight, or been prepared to duck, or prepared to get hit.
Yeah, there was, and no, what I mean by bad is there was video. It showed videos of them actually throwing snowballs at Santa Claus when he would come in the stadium.
No, that was
that was in the 70s. Yeah, I remember that. I'm just saying, like, listen, you pay for your ticket. I don't give a damn what stadium you go to. There's gonna be idiots regardless. You know. And I'm under the assumption that we have idiotic fans as Dolphin fans too. You can go anywhere you can go anywhere you want. Like I said, I don't get in confrontations with people. I don't run my mouth to people, and I expect the same back. You can say, "Oh, your team sucks." You can do all that. I don't care. But when you get in my airspace and you in an aggressive manner, then my airspace will be defended. That's it. You know, I'm not trying to fight with nobody. I ain't trying to strong arm nobody. I'm enjoying the game like everybody else. Paid for my ticket like everybody else. I'm enjoying myself like everybody else. But it crosses the line when if you're at a game and somebody touches you, or somebody says something about somebody says something about a family member, or calls you a racial or a religious name, then all bets are off. I don't care.
Have you ever?
Hey guys, okay, it's after 9 o'clock. Some of us get up early. I know.
Yes, sir.
So we're gonna call it a night.
Appreciate you guys, man.
Peace, love, and pins up, all.
Yeah, Johnny, I'm gonna keep in touch with you. Let me know when you get those pins.
I will. I'll text you when they come in.
Yeah, man. I want you to get those pins, brother.
Yeah, me too. It's the only one I'm missing for the whole year.
And the worst part is I had to go into the damn Patriots Pro Shop to get it for you. I wasn't that happy about that shit. I took a lot of heat from the fucking girl at the counter. I'm walking in there with Dolphin fucking with a hat on. She's like, "You're buying Patriot stuff?" I said, "Lady, shut the hell up and just put it in the bag."
You weren't buying Patriot stuff. You were buying a game day pin. It's got
yeah, but it has the Patriots logo and the Dolphins logo on that. I was not fucking happy contributing money to that fucking program.
Y'all have a good night. We'll talk.
All right, man. Peace, love, fins up. Nice talking to you guys.
Yeah, see you next Wednesday. Peace, love, fins up.